I'm Adrian Vale. I've walked deserts, slept on ferries, and argued about ethics in dim markets and bright lecture halls. And lately, I find myself in places with no weather, no dust, and no border crossings. Worlds built of code. There's a sentence I hear more and more when I travel. My best life is in a game. It arrives hesitantly, like a confession in a confessional booth we call DMs. Is that a problem, an alarm bell, or is it an exit, a rescue route? Maybe both. Today, let's travel through three landscapes: the cave, the carnival, and the commons. And let's ask, what counts as real? What counts as escape? And where meaning is actually made? In Sao Paulo, I met Luana, a logistics worker by day, guild leader by night. In the office, she moves boxes. Online, she moves people. Her voice carries across servers like a lighthouse. There, I'm not small, she told me. In Manchester, a former rugby player showed me the rig that keeps him upright in virtual space. Paralysis came after a fall. In there, he said, I learned to sprint again, then to stop running from myself. In Almaty, a miner with dust in his lungs manages an interstellar corporation in EVE Online. He has to negotiate, strategize, survive betrayal. My boss underground never asked what I thought, he said. My enemies in space do. These are not merely escapes, they are reassignments of gravity. When gravity is heavy out here, a world with different physics doesn't feel false, it feels fair. So which world is real? The one with dirt and taxes, or the one with meaning and agency? Plato gave us the cave. Prisoners watch shadows cast by firelight, mistake them for reality, and fear the sun when one escapes. We've cited this parable for millennia to warn that images deceive. But consider a twist. In Plato's cave, the shadows were imposed. Passive spectatorship. Today's caves are interactive. We move the light. We sculpt the shadow. If I spend hours in a world I help make, am I more a prisoner or more a craftsperson? Plato feared that imitation would seduce us away from the real, the good, the true. But what if the imitations have become laboratories for the good? A world where a bullied teenager learns leadership in a raid, where someone locked out of the job market gains reputation and income via modding. If a cave becomes a workshop, does it cease to be a cave? Yet there's a warning Plato would still insist on. Who owns the cave? Who controls the fire? If a platform can alter the physics of your reality with a patch note, your sunlight is rented. And rented sunlight is still a form of dependence. We talk about real life as if it's obvious, but real has at least 4 criteria. Stakes. Do outcomes matter? Resistance. Is there friction that makes achievement meaningful? Reciprocity. Are there other minds who can surprise you? Continuity. Does it shape your character over time? In many games, the answer is yes to all 4. Bonds form, skills grow, economies rise and crash. Your reputation precedes you. These are not phantoms, these are consequences. Philosopher Robert Nozick asked if we'd plug into an experience machine that gives guaranteed bliss. Many say no, we want to really do, not only seem. But modern games aren't pure illusion machines. They're not solitary baths of pleasure. They are social, unpredictable, and sometimes unforgiving. They do not just deliver experiences, they demand effort. That distinction matters. If real means makes and unmakes you, then games can be real. The question shifts. Which reality do you owe allegiance to when realities conflict? When your raid night collides with your sister's birthday, or your sleep, or your rent? Not all play is equal. Some designs are fishing hooks, others are paintbrushes. Psychologists know the lure of variable rewards. Loot boxes, daily streaks, small dopamine fireworks wired to keep you near the cash register. But play can also be a forge. Johann Huizinga called us Homo Ludens, the playing human. Friedrich Schiller saw the play drive as the bridge between our sensuous and rational selves. In a creative game, you do not merely consume, you become co-author. You mod, you stream, you coach, you curate a community. In a tournament, you learn poise. In a builder, you learn patience. In a sandbox, you learn the discipline that freedom requires. Escapism numbs, creation enlarges. Most virtual worlds contain both opioids and vitamins. The test is whether your time converts to skill, relationship, or insight. Do you leave the session with residue that nourishes the next day, or only with the itch to log back in? People speak of the metaverse as a product. That's a category error. A metaverse is a lived pattern, persistent identity, shared space, and portable meaning. It is a third place, neither home nor work, where rituals form. I've attended a wedding in Final Fantasy XIV, a funeral in World of Warcraft, a language class in VR chat. I've watched a Syrian refugee teach chess in a Roblox hangout because the physical club was gone. Meaning happens where rites repeat and emotions are witnessed. But there is a constitutional issue. In a town square, the law is debated and appealed. In a platform, the law is terms of service, unalterable, often opaque. Code is law, wrote Lawrence Lessig. When your best life lives under private sovereignty, you inhabit a fragile citizenship. So, a metaverse can be a temple, or a mall dressed like a temple. We must learn to tell them apart. Sometimes your best life migrates online because the offline one is booby-trapped. Wages stagnate, housing shrinks, passports restrict, bodies ache, prejudices compound. In a game, the gatekeepers are different or absent. Accessibility technologies, eye tracking, haptics, open doors that architecture still refuses. Translation bridges across dialects that school systems starved. The world of pixels lets many finally be seen. But let's not romanticize. Where there is value, there is extraction. The line between play and labor blurs, play bore, as scholars call it. Gold farms, unpaid mod teams, creator burnout, parasocial debts. The economy of virtual life runs on intimacy data and volunteer governance. The cost of meaning can be invisible until you stop paying and feel the social cold. Here's a traveler's compass to ask whether your best life in a game is an exit or a trap. Agency test. Can you leave, modulate, or negotiate the rules? If your only choices are log in or lose everything, you're in a casino, not a commons. Reciprocity test. Do others rely on you and do you rely on them in ways that foster dignity? If relationships are replaceable widgets, meaning is shallow. Carryover test. Does effort inside carry value outside? Skills, income, confidence, calm. If nothing transfers, your life is siloed. Care test. Does this world care for your body, sleep, posture, finances, mental health? If the design feeds on your depletion, it is not your friend. 2 practices help. Make membranes, not walls. Let the worlds touch. Journal what each session taught you for the offline day. Bring offline adventures back in. Photograph a real texture to import. Share a park walk with your guild. Negotiate vows, not vibes. Treat your virtual commitments like real ones. Set limits, celebrate achievements, honor goodbyes. Rituals protect freedom. If your best life is in a game, listen closely. Part of that sentence may be a diagnosis of a sick society. Part may be a map to your gifts. Neither part is shameful. I have 2 citizenships now, dust and data. So do you. The mature task isn't to denounce one or drown in the other. It's to braid them, so that the courage you learn in a dungeon helps you speak up at dinner, so that the patience you learn in line at the pharmacy steadies your aim in a finals match. Plato feared shadows. We've learned to sculpt them. Let's just remember to step outside sometimes and check our work in the sun. A problem or an exit? Choose the exit that teaches you to build doors in both worlds.